please welcome to the stage New York Governor Kathy Hochul.
Hello, everyone. What a spectacular to be here today with all of you on this historic day for New York City and our entire region. You know, 75 years ago, the Port Authority bus station opened its doors. Looks like it, doesn't it? I ad-libbed that. Countless millions have passed through since then on their way to work, to shop, to see Broadway shows, to visit loved ones, or to experience our magnificent city for the very first time. And for many, this bus station is their first impression of New York City. We can do better. We must do better. This is about our image. And I will digress to say, and we're going to do the same with Penn Station. I want that to be magnificent. And we're going to get that done. But let's be honest, after more than 7 decades of nonstop use, this terminal is showing its age. And in recent decades, many have tried, yet many have failed to get this station rebuilt. In 2007, there was a plan with the developer to renovate it with a tower on the top. Well, that didn't go anywhere. In 2013, there was another attempt met by fierce community pushback. As recently as 2019, there was an effort started to bring back the 2013 plan. And none of these proposals managed to achieve what we're doing collectively today. Breaking ground on a new Midtown Bus Terminal. This is a once in a generation to get it right. And here we are. Because of the dedication of so many people who could believe that this day would come. Now I want to acknowledge my partner in government. And you don't hear this a lot with respect to New York and New Jersey. But we actually like each other. We're both Irish. We're going to have a beer as soon as we leave here. And that's what was missing perhaps, Phil. But I'm so proud to be here today with you to show your residents that we believe they also deserve more when they come in to their jobs, to work, to recreate, because they're part of our regional family. And to all the commuters coming in from Orange County and Rockland, you deserve better as well. This bud's for you. This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity. Thank you, Phil. Thank you to Kevin O'Toole, our chairman of the Port Authority, who's had to overcome so many challenges, and I respect him immensely. Rick Cotton, who comes to me with the most brilliant ideas, and I always say, Rick, you had me at hello. I mean, I want to build. I want to do more. I want to show our audacity, our ambition, to remind people how great we are. And I want to thank you for extraordinary leadership for many, many years. And then who's going to build it? I know who's going to build it. Gary LaBarber and his men and women are going to build it. And our members of Congress who support it. Congressman Jerry Nadler, who believed we could do better as well. Let's give him a round of applause. Deputy Mayor Randy Mastro, representing the city, has joined us here today. And council members, Eric Botcher, Sylvina Brooks Powers, who never gave up on this. And I see Brad Hoylman, the late entry. There you go. Brad Hoylman Seeger, who's been a longtime friend of mine. And all the community board members, if you're part of a community board, raise your hand, and thank you for all you do, pushing us to do better, meeting the moment. And all the local businesses and the advocates. This takes not a village, it takes a city, it takes states. And that's why we're here today. And we worked hand in hand with local officials, and get this, you don't hear this every day of the week. We secured unanimous approval through the city's council's land use project. Anybody hear that through the Europe? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well done. We negotiated a $2 billion pilot agreement with the city and the Port Authority, unlocking financing that's finally making this project possible. And we're delivering a project that meets the moment. Transportation that is worthy, this transportation hub that is worthy of the greatest city in the world. Because in New York, we don't just talk, we build. Just look what we did not far from it with the Gateway Tunnel. That project was dead on arrival when I first became governor. Everyone said it was impossible. It had gone through countless governors and mayors and presidents. But I said, this must happen. I would not take no for an answer. Teamed up with my partners and said, we can get this done. Work with Governor Murphy. So we rolled up our sleeves. With all the federal leaders and the regional partners, we secured $16 billion to make Gateway become a reality. But you know what's even more exciting to me, as someone who's born and bred in a labor family? That's 100,000 good-paying labor jobs. Same story with the 2nd Avenue subway extension in East Harlem. It was completely stalled when I first became governor. We brought it back to life with $3.4 billion of federal funds. Don't touch our federal funds for the 2nd Avenue subway if anybody's listening in Washington. It's another fight you don't want to have. We also secured money for the engineering and design of the Interborough Express. How exciting is that? That'll transform how New Yorkers can get from Brooklyn to Queens and vice versa. And we broke ground on the Penn Station Access Project that finally gives the Bronx and Westchester residents that direct line into Penn Station. And now, the Midtown Bus Terminal. Time and time again, I have worked with my extraordinary team to bring projects, legacy projects, that could have happened at any point in our history and should have. But people said they were too hard. Just too damn hard. And we made them become a reality. That's what New York deserves. And this terminal sees upwards of 8,000 buses going in and out every single day, serving 200,000 people every weekday. Those are extraordinary numbers. As I said, they're commuters from New Jersey, Rockland, Orange counties, and people from around the world. And the demand is just growing. So we're stepping up today with the Dyer Avenue deckovers. May not sound exciting to a lot of you, deckovers, okay? Believe me, ribbon cuttings are a lot more fun, and I plan to be around when this ribbon cutting is accomplished, a decade from now. You know what? They told me 10 years, Rick, you know I'm going to make you shave off time. I mean, that's just how I operate. Like, yeah, Gary, we can do it sooner than 10 years, right? All right, Gary says we're going to make it happen. We're going to shave off time. That's how we roll here. But we're going to lay the groundwork for a world-class terminal. It's not just any project. It's going to have a gleaming 2.1 million square feet main terminal. Driver seamless trips for hundreds of people. And alleviate the traffic for this community. This is so important to our residents. And remove the intercity buses from the neighborhood streets. That's why I also want to get this done. This community deserves better. They don't need their kids growing up with idling buses, with all the fumes, making them sick. They deserve better. And we'll also give them what they deserve. 3.5 acres of open green space for recreation. This is going to be transformed. It'll also be a new civic landmark. But when it comes to delivering projects, the Port Authority delivers. And I want to thank them again for everything they've done. We work closely on the JFK Airport, Terminals 1 and 6. We got those going and creating a world-class experience. So my point is this. Whether you're flying in, taking a bus in, taking a train in, I want everyone to have a wow factor when they come to this city. And to walk away or drive away or go away and say to others, New York has finally met the moment. We are a city, a region, worthy of all the ambition that people imagine around us because we got it done. I'm excited about this project, if you can tell. I'm going to be pushing it hard toward accomplishment. but this one is for the community and all of our communities. You've deserved this for a long time, and today the future has arrived. Congratulations to everybody involved.
Please welcome to the stage Governor Phil Murphy.
Hey, Steve. It's like old home week over here. Steve Sweeney and Bob Gordon, good to see you guys. Good afternoon, everyone. It is a real treat to be here. It is an incredible honor to be back in Midtown Manhattan to mark the beginning, as Kathy said, of a new era in transportation for New Jersey, for New York, and our entire region. Once completed, the new Midtown Bus Terminal will offer our riders and commuters a more reliable, accessible, and enjoyable public transit experience, period. And crucially, it will help transform our vision for creating a world-class transportation system into a reality right here in the greatest region in the world. So first and foremost, I want to thank all of our partners at the federal, Jerry, good to see you, state and local level who are working together on both sides of the Hudson to get this project done once and for all, starting with my friend and fellow governor, Kathy Hochul. Kathy, thank you for your friendship, for your leadership, for your partnership across countless areas that we work on together. To you and your colleagues here on the New York side, to each of you, I say thank you for supporting this project. I also want to thank in absentia both current Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy, along with his entire team, and their predecessors in the Biden-Harris administration. Just earlier this year, the Department of Transportation approved a nearly $2 billion federal loan to support the first phase of construction for this project. And we are incredibly grateful for their continued support. We're also incredibly grateful for the Port Authority, Chairman Kevin O'Toole and all of his colleagues on the Board of Commissioners. With us today from the Jersey side, Joe Kelly and Mayor Chris Bolwich. Chris and I are at not our first, but our second port event today, having just cut the ribbon in Elizabeth on the port security section, along with the port's executive director, Rick Cotton, and his extraordinary team. And we're also going to hear from him in a few minutes, but I want to thank a particular shout out to one of Kevin's fellow commissioners and the president of the New York Building and Construction Trades Council, Gary LaBarber. Gary, great to be with you as always. And to all of our brothers and sisters in labor, bless you. This project, as Gary knows better than anybody, is going to create thousands of good-paying union jobs for Gary's members, along with so many construction workers in the Great Garden State as well. And together, they're going to build the future of public transit right here in the heart of Manhattan. It's almost hard to wrap your head around the fact that the Midtown Bus Terminal is the busiest bus terminal in the entire world. But as any of our region's commuters will tell you, it is incredibly challenging to meet the growing demand with outdated, as Kathy mentioned, with outdated infrastructure. And considering that the current Midtown Bus Terminal was first built during the days of the Truman administration, I've become an aficionado of Toots Shore. Toots was at his apex at 51 West 51st in 1950 when this opened. And God bless Toots. Toots died 48 years ago. We got to turn the page. This much is clear. It is time for a much-needed upgrade and overhaul. And that's exactly why this transformational project to fully replace, ultimately, the Midtown Bus Terminal is so important. Once it is completed, it will offer an entirely new and improved experience to the hundreds of thousands of riders and visitors who will walk through its doors every single day. And this project will directly benefit the thousands of New Jerseyans who commute to and from the Midtown Bus Terminal. It will also directly impact and benefit the New York firms that those commuters populate. In fact, it will nearly double the terminal's capacity for buses, from being able to handle nearly 600 buses per hour to more than 1,000 buses per hour once completed. And given the fact that buses account for the biggest portion of NJ Transit's ridership, this means this new terminal will be equipped to meet growing demand for our state's riders and commuters for many decades to come. And even better, this new terminal will be equipped with state-of-the-art infrastructure to accommodate NJ Transit's growing electric bus fleet. And I want to give a shout out to its Chief Executive, Chris Calori, and Board Chair, Fran O'Connor, who are with us today. So the bottom line is we are modernizing our entire public transit system while also making our streets cleaner and safer at the same time. And whether you commute to the Midtown Bus Terminal for work every day, or if you are a tourist visiting our region for the very first time, this new facility will also offer you a far more pleasant and enjoyable experience. Because much like the new Terminal A at Newark Liberty Airport or LaGuardia or the new World Trade Center Transportation Hub downtown, the new Midtown Bus Terminal will have dedicated spaces for retail, restaurants, and entertainment. In other words, this will be a transportation hub that welcomes travelers so they can take a few minutes to grab a bite and catch their breath, or just kick back and relax while they wait for their bus to arrive. And at the end of the day, that is what it means to build a world-class transportation system. Fewer headaches, better service, and greater peace of mind. So again, this new terminal is going to be a game changer for New Jersey, for New York, and from visitors from across the entire globe. And it will help ensure that we preserve our region's proud reputation as the gateway to America. So thank you all for your commitment to completing this project and for creating the best possible public transit experience for our commuters, workers, and families. God bless you all.
Please welcome Chairman Kevin Hochul to the stage.
Thank you, Governor Murphy. Thank you, Governor Hochul, for coming here today and kicking off. We could say deck overs, but it's really the kicking off of the bus terminal. Gary, are we going to hear that from you? Yes. Thank you very much, Governor Hochul, for your support. Your interaction with the Port Authority has always been wonderful. Your commissioners have been terrific. Governor Murphy, I will tell you, thank you again for the interaction. The cooperation we've had from you and your office over the last 8 years has been magnificent. I wasn't quite sure how today was going to start and finish. I got here early to kind of check out the setup. As a former staffer, in my heart, I'm a staffer. You want to make sure the chairs are okay, the nameplates are okay. Congressman Nadler wanted to make sure you had a front row seat. And I got here, the first person I met with was Gary LaBarbera. And Gary walks up to me and he said, "Kevin, are you okay?" He goes, "You look like shit." I said, "What?" And I said, "Well, I'm a little tired, Gary. I flew in yesterday from Tokyo and I'm operating like 36 hours of deficit of sleep." But Gary was kind enough to point that out to me as I first saw him. Thank you, Gary. So when I landed in Newark Airport last night and went through immigration, first of all, the wonderful thing when you fly internationally and you come into the States, you hear the pilot say, "Welcome back to the United States of America." And as a first generation, as a mom who was born in a communist country, when I hear that every time, it really makes my heart swell and say, this is the greatest country in the world. It really is. And as I landed in Newark, and you see "Welcome to the United States" in a Port Authority asset, I said, you know, I'm coming here today and saying the Port Authority always answers the call. Since its start in 1921, it's been asked to do a lot of things, and it has always answered the call. Whether it was building the George Washington Bridge in the 30s, or building the Lincoln Tunnel in the 30s, acquiring the Holland Tunnel, building the bus terminal, 1950, the ports, the World Trade, several times over, PATH. The Port Authority has always answered the call. 1944, we talk about the history. 1944, Mayor LaGuardia asked the Port Authority, you got to build a bus terminal. It's too important. This region, this area, New York, New Jersey, you have to build the bus terminal. So true to form, the Port Authority answered the call. Governor Hochul talks about since 2007, we've been talking about a bus terminal. So in 2017, the reason I'm here, I got a phone call from Senate President Sweeney. He says, come to my office. And he says, Kevin, I know you love serving in the Senate. He says, but I want you to do something different. In my own sense, I said, it's going to answer this call. I said, what is it, Stephen? Majority Leader Loretta Weinberg was with him. And she should be here, by the way. Senator Weinberg gets as much credit for this thing happening as anybody else. So, Steve and Bob, I will say, I can't give you, Senator Gordon, as much credit as Senator Weinberg, because you know she had her heart and soul into this. So, Senate President Sweeney sat me down and says, Kevin, I know you love the Senate, but there's a different calling for you. And we want you to go over to the Port Authority and serve as the chair with this fellow, Rick Cotton. I said, Steve, that's a really unusual ask. I said, why? He says, a lot. Because one thing you have to do is focus on getting us a bus terminal. So we've been talking about it, planning about it. Now we are answering the call of the bus terminal. And we talk about once in a generation, and we've talked about the dynamics and the dimensions of what this new bus terminal will look like. And the reason it's going to get done is because we have an exceptional once-in-a-generational leader, Rick Cotton, who's going to make sure we get it done. In less than 10 years, I will tell you, Governor Hochul, and I commit to Governor Murphy, in less than 10 years. And the reason it's going to get done is because this place answers the call. There's people here that I have to acknowledge who are part of the Port Authority family, who have been part of this for 10 and 20 and 30 years. Lillian Valenti, head of purchasing, has to be. Libby McCarthy, our CFO. Diane Eller, head of bus. Diane, this is yours. Riz Beige is our engineer, our engineer, head of engineering. That's for you, Riz, by the way. That's planned. Steve Plate, I'm sure he's here somewhere. Have to be. Peter Simon, we know what your role here. And let me just ask, and like Hirsch Perek and everybody from GoCorps, I want everyone to acknowledge the Port Authority family who has made this thing happen. If the Port Authority family could just stand up for a moment and take a bow for being part of this magnificent day. Port Authority, please stand. And after 8 years of doing this, I will tell you, this is what we do. We build great projects. We do them with excellence, and it's state-of-the-art. It is on time, under budget, and we do this to represent New York and New Jersey. So we answer the call. That's what we do. So I thank the Governors Hochul and Governors Murphy for giving us this opportunity. I want to thank my fellow commissioners, first of all, Kelly and Bolwidge and LaBarbera, and most importantly, my Vice Chair, Jeff Linford. So we talked about the unanimous vote from the New York City Council on these permits, which never happens. Well, I will tell you, Governor Hochul and Governor Murphy, for 8 years, the Board of Port Authority in New York and New Jersey has had a unanimous vote on every single board item we have voted for in 8 years, which has never happened before in the history of the Port Authority. And it's because these people, these commissioners here, who last Thursday pledged their commitment to make sure that we're going to fully fund this bus terminal to make sure it gets done and represents the Port Authority answering the call one more time. Thank you.
Please welcome to the stage Executive Director Rick Cotton.
Thank you. It is really wonderful to be here. This project has a long history. The program this afternoon is beginning to be a little long. I'll try not to be one of the speakers that says what everyone else has said. And what I do want to celebrate is what the previous speakers have said, which is this is an extraordinary example of a bi-state cooperation between New York and New Jersey. And I'd like to thank Governor Hochul and Governor Murphy for being here with us today. It is a real testament to the importance and the support that both of you have given, particularly to this project. The current bus terminal, as everyone has noted, is more than 70 years old, but let's be blunt. It's undersized, obsolete, structurally and architecturally archaic. It has become a notorious eyesore that fails the commuters who use it and fails the community that surrounds it. The worst place on planet Earth was how one comedian famously described our current bus terminal, and that's might even be an understatement. It's bad enough that the bus terminal has become one of the most reviled buildings in America, but it's located in the heart of Manhattan, near what is called the crossroads of the world, and right in the middle of the nation's largest and most famous city. While there has been a long-standing consensus on the need to replace the bus terminal, the path to getting here today was not easy. Both governors have recognized that this project has needed to be done for decades, and it has simply not gotten done. Indeed, within the last decade, there's also a consensus to replace it, but earlier proposals of that era regarding the new bus terminal were mired in controversy when the Port Authority at the Port Authority and faced opposition from the surrounding community. The stalemate derived from debates a decade ago about whether to build in Manhattan or New Jersey, a debate that divided the states, and from design competitions that were dominated by projects requiring extensive takings of private property by eminent domain that precipitated intense opposition from the local community. To break the stalemate, the chairman and I decided that we would map a way forward by focusing on two fundamental and actually fairly obvious propositions, but that we thought was the solution 8 years ago. Pillar one, the terminal must be of the highest quality and it must be capable of meeting the needs of commuters who will use the terminal for decades into the future. And pillar number two, the way forward must take fully into account the needs of the community surrounding the bus terminal, and most importantly, with no taking of private property. To that end, we conducted hundreds of meetings with community leaders, many of whom are here today, elected officials on both sides of the river, and transit advocates. We incorporated that feedback and released a new proposal in January of 2021, that was dramatically different, totally different from any preceding plan in order to respond to what we heard. So for commuters and bus riders, what would they get from this revised plan, which is the plan that is what we are building? Thanks to this plan, commuters will get a modern, well-organized, inspiring new terminal with top-quality concessions, brightly lit gates and corridors, easy-to-follow wayfinding, and a striking light-filled central atrium, something they will remember with pleasure. The new terminal will be able to accommodate more and larger buses and fully electric fleets. It will use artificial intelligence to coordinate bus movements and drive efficiencies to reduce the time that commuters now spend waiting in line or waiting in buses for their gate to clear. For the community, what would they get from the revised plan? The larger bus terminal combined with the addition, brand new addition, of a storage and staging facility, which may not sound sexy, but it will dramatically take buses off the street. No idling buses, no pickups and drop-offs on the street. All of that will occur inside our new terminal complex. Also, the new ramp system to and from the Lincoln Tunnel will eliminate the need for buses coming from or going to the tunnel to ever touch city streets, a key concern within the community. The blank outer walls with the crisscross steel beams of the current bus terminal that make it look more like a fortress than a transportation system will be torn down, and the new terminal will offer outward-facing retail that enlivens the blocks around the bus terminal and revitalizes and contributes positively to the ambience of the community. And right here where we are standing, once construction concludes, the Dyer Avenue deck overs will be expanded and converted, as you've heard, into 3.5 acres of open, public green space, something that is scarce in Hell's Kitchen. This is the proposal that was analyzed in an exhaustive environmental impact statement and was approved by both the Federal Transit Administration, and we are grateful to them for their support, not only in approving our plan for the bus terminal, but also for a $1.9 billion loan contributing to its financing. It was approved by the New York City land use process, concluding with the unanimous vote of approval from the New York City Council, and it has received unprecedented support from the 2 relevant community boards and the 5 elected officials whose districts encompass the bus terminal. We all know that this project has been needed for decades. Finally, we are here to put a shovel in the ground for the first stage of construction, the deck overs. We are able to celebrate this moment because we adhere to those 2 basic propositions, addressing the needs of commuters and of the community. And when we're done, we'll have a transportation center that this region can finally be proud of, that commuters will enjoy, and that the community can embrace. But getting here today, as I said, was a long path, and the key role, or the key thing that I want to do right now, is a list of thank yous to people without whose support we would not be here today, beginning with Governors Hochul and Governor Murphy. Thank you for your support and your advocacy of this project. Thank you to Mayor Eric Adams and his team at City Hall, represented here today by First Deputy Mayor Randy Mastro. Thank you to Congressman Jerry Nadler. Thank you to State Senator Brad Hoylman-Siegel. Thank you to Assembly Member Tony Simone. Thank you to Manhattan Borough President Mark Levine. And thank you to City Council Member Eric Botcher. Thank you to Dan Grodnick and his staff at the New York City Department of City Planning, who were key to the approval process, New York City Department of Transportation staff, and City Council Member Selvina Brooks Power. Without those supporters, we would not be here today. And I also have to thank, as the chairman did, the senior staff and all of the staff at the Port Authority who have worked literally on this phase of the plan. Many of them have worked for multiple decades, but in terms of the past 8 years, who have brought this to reality. Steve Plate and Alan Reese, to Diane Eller, to Lillian Valenti, to Derek Utter, Jim Heitman, Libby McCarthy, Amy Fisher, Rizwan Beg, and I guess that is it. So thank you. I guess and finally to recognize that this project will be built day and night by the members of organized labor, and we, as in all of our projects, are enormously gratified for their efforts. Thank you.
Please welcome Gary LaBarbera to the stage.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be here. So I want to share a few comments, and I will keep it brief. And I want to talk about two different topics. But the first topic I want to do also is I want to thank all of the people at the Port Authority and all of the elected officials, but in particular, I truly want to thank, and I really applaud both Governor Hochul and Governor Murphy. And I want to share something with you. You know, I've seen you together many times, and I know you've worked on a lot of things in true partnership. And I want you to know that your relationship but the bi-state relationship literally transcends to the Port Authority Board. I have said this publicly many times, and I will say it again. In my 32 career in union leadership, I think one of the most high honors I've had, and Rick, you know I've said this publicly, is to have the opportunity to serve as a commissioner to the Port Authority of New York and New Jersey. This organization, this agency, this authority is outstanding. The people that run the authority, the people that, all of the staff, outstanding. And this authority's commitment to, as Rick Cotton and Kevin say all the time, best in class. Well, the Port Authority in New York and New Jersey, as far as I'm concerned, compared to any other agency or authority, is absolutely best in class. So thank you for your leadership, Governor Hochul and Governor Murphy. The relationship between New York and New Jersey is, as Chairman O'Toole said, I've been on that board since 2017. It's 8 years. And in my time and in my term as a commissioner, we have had many, many tough issues, many votes, and every vote for 8 years has been unanimous between the New York commissioners and the New Jersey commissioners. So I wanted to point out how well the two states and the representatives as commissioners work together on behalf of the public and on behalf of the agency. So thank you again. And believe me, I attribute that to Governor Hochul's leadership and Governor Murphy's leadership, as well to Chairman O'Toole's leadership and the Executive Director, Rick Cotton. And we certainly would not mention who is a brilliant, brilliant person, and he's really an asset to the board, our Vice Chair, Jeff Linford. You know, Jeff is a very impressive person, so we were chatting earlier, and we were talking that, you know, the members of the building trades are going to build it, and, you know, he is a real finance guy, and he goes, oh, I just got to figure out how to finance it. And I said, well, that's what you're here for, along with along with our CFO, and I'm sure we're going to be able to do that. So it is great. This is a very, very significant moment in time. It is, in my opinion, a transformative moment for this community, for the ridership, and for the economy in Hell's Kitchen. Let me just now kind of talk to you from the building trades perspective. You know, this is a project that will literally create, you know, tens of thousands of union construction jobs, right? But not only will it create these opportunities for current members, when you have significant large projects, we will now be able to bring more people from underserved and marginalized communities into a middle-class career as a union construction worker in the city of New York. So this project isn't just about the current members, it's about the future as well. It's about the future of opportunity for workers to go into the middle class. It's about the future of opportunity for this community. You think about when you have thousands of construction workers and you think about local shops and bodegas. Any place, any community, whether it's any of the boroughs, you walk in to a local store or a local shop when there's a construction project going on, they are thrilled, and they really never want to see it end because of how their businesses flourish. And so this is an economic driver for not only for the workers, but for all of the retail, all of the bodega owners, all of the community. It just is creating an enormous opportunity. So really, again, really what I'm here to say is thank you to so many, to all of our elected officials and the city council, everyone, and the mayor's office as well. And look, the bottom line is this, right? This is going to be one of the best in quality terminals, I would say, anywhere in the world. And why would I say that? Well, think about LaGuardia Airport, right? Best in class, one of the top 5 airports, not in North America, in the globe. And I will tell you that JFK will be the same. And I will tell you that the bus terminal will be the same, best in class. And I guarantee both governors that the tradesmen and women that work on this project and build this project will be and are best in class. Thank you so much, everyone. God bless you all. Thank you.
shovel the dirt. 1, 2, 3.
Woo!
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Okay. If I can ask our New Jersey commissioners to
Get the hell out.
step aside for a moment. Guys, 3 more shovels in, please. All right. Okay. Yes, shovels. Please distribute shovels. Some folks on this side as well, please.
When is it?
Joe, you go on this side. Stay right there. One more shovel over here. All right, everyone's good?
Yeah.
I feel like this show would have been better than
Get less.
Okay, everyone have a shovel. All right, count of 3. Everyone look forward, please. Make sure you're looking forward. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Congratulations. Okay. Our New York folks, you can depart. New Jersey. Back on.
It's ready to get framed.
Yes. New Jersey, come on up.
Where's Bob? Good luck. Come on in, guys. Thank you, Lori. Let's go. Over this side.
Lori on this side.
Peter, how are you? How are you? Let's go there, Thanks.
All right.
The last one?
Okay, everyone has a shovel?
Yep.
Okay, everyone look forward. Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Everyone good? Okay, we are good. Thank you, everybody. Congratulations.
Create a little lane here for the